Hey, what's up guys? It's Josh with Sohn. Today I want to go over a cool library called Antidrum Machine by Soundiron. Antidrum Machine is actually a compilation between different libraries that they have, including Antidrum 1, 2, 3, Cathedral of Junk, Luftballoon, Luminabells, PBC Beatbox ensembles, and Snowdrums. So if you're curious about each one, go on their website. You can actually hear samples from each one. But if you can get the whole thing, you can actually buy that for $149 and save yourself some money. I think it's a great library. It doesn't take up too much space. It looks like it's 8 gigabytes of install space that you need. It has 39 patches, 21,000 samples. Very deep. If you read here, I agree with what they say. They give you all sorts of options you can do, and have a FX rack even to have sounds come right out of the box really nicely. So that's one thing. I'm going to dive into how it works now for you guys, and let's see. I'm gonna go open up one of these library samples. So I actually have it already preloaded, but this is the voice, body and voice ensemble, so it has some stomps and claps. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and show you guys this track. It's called Court Stomps, or Courtside Stomps, and here we go. Okay, well, thanks for listening, and that is just a small collection of sounds that you can get from this library. So what I'll do is I'm gonna actually show you some other things that you can do here with this library. So let me go ahead and open up a new instance. Alright, so now that we have the instance of ensembles up, you'll see that it's organized in 4 folders. I just went into ensembles just now, and you have 5 different ensembles ranging from the Antidrum series and Cathedral of Junk, etc. So oops, I just loaded that. So I'm gonna go ahead and play you some other sounds that you can hear. Alright. that's just from Antidrum 1. You can load up Antidrum 2. Let's hear that now. And it just goes on and on. I'll do just a few more. So really fun stuff. You can really get lost in this sample library because there's so much. But when it comes down to making tracks, this is really fun to just play around, get those creative juices flowing. You probably won't use more than 12 sounds in one track, but I mean, you can go pretty crazy. So what's good about this is it's inspiring to go down the deep end on sounds that you might not use before. And so if you're not comfortable with unconventional style of music, this is a good place to just get familiar and experiment and things like that. So let's talk about how it works. I think what makes this library so deep is that it has a lot of options. So I'm going to go back to a more of a roomy sound. So let's go back to this one. You can hear a lot of room sound right there. So if you go to the release, all of a sudden it might sound like it's coming from a very dry room. Now if I do on the extreme end, let's see how that sounds. Right. So you can, basically control that with a expression wheel or mod wheel. And that makes it really fun to experiment with. You can use that more long release as the finale of a track, right? And you can just do that in real time with some MIDI data. So that's one thing that I think is really important. You can also mess with the pitch, add more bass, reduce bass, stuff like that. Really easy stuff. Go to LFO on this second panel. On this window you have a sine wave, or you can actually change that to a square, triangle, and whatnot. And if you're not familiar with LFOs, what they do is they modulate the sound of the source. So what that means is I could target it to a pan, and imagine there's a lever that just keeps going up and down, and it's doing a sine wave modulation. So then you can tempo sync that to, let's say, let's do a quarter note. Let me also make it exaggerated for you. So this is without any modulation. Now I'm going to add more in there. Okay, listen to this on good headphones and you'll hear how it's panning left to right because of the LFO. I use panning for the most part on LFOs, but you can do that for other things like pitch, their resonance and frequencies, volume even. So that's really powerful stuff. Filters are also very useful. You can put low pass filters, that's what the Legacy LP6 stands for. You can do high pass filters. Let's do a high pass filter. So moving this up and down will mess with the high pass. Let's try. Okay, this is a clap. So right now it's off, but if I add a low pass or high pass and keep going up and down on that. And there's also this cool little graph, so you can modulate that with a graph frequency, graph resonance, and let's see how that sounds. So it says 16, so every 16 notes I'm playing, it starts in the beginning. And it goes higher and higher on the top of the knob. And then let's turn that off. Let's go to the arpeggiator. Arpeggiator with the graph on, it will make it so I can hold the note down. Right. And let's change the time to 16th notes. So that's kind of what I did for this track earlier. It's just adding a arpeggiator, messing with the velocities, something like this. We'll make it more like a 3-2 or a 3 clave kind of thing. Okay, so that's really powerful stuff. Going to the effects rack, you have different types of effects that you can do right inside of Kontakt, like many other libraries, but the presets are nice. Let's hear some of those. Okay, you get the idea. With all of that included in an anti-drum machine, I think $149 is well justified. It will give you endless sounds to choose from. Not endless, so to speak, but it feels like endless. And this will be very inspiring. It has no hassle to shape the sounds because you have it right inside of here. Very deep, very customizable. So 2 thumbs up for Soundiron's anti-drum machine. If you like this video, please continue to watch and subscribe to other videos that I'll be making soon. So next year I'm going to start to maybe dial down my videos, just because I am now working on a lot of projects, and hey, hooray, but I won't be able to make as much content nowadays. So I'm sorry about that. If you guys have any suggestions, I'll make polls. I'll ask you guys some questions down the road. I will be planning to do something along the lines of ear candy, how to make more ear candy, tracks sound more exciting, as well as orchestral mixing, things like that. So stay tuned. I'll see you next time.